What's up everybody, Ben the Blur here today, bringing you LEGO Transformers Pyrowing. So here we have Pyrowing in his Cybertronian vehicle mode. He is a Decepticon fighter jet. Obviously, given by his appearance and his name, you could probably figure out what his power and his unique ability is, like the other LEGO Transformers that I've created. He is a Decepticon, if I haven't said that already. He's got a very nice colour scheme, a lot of red, light grey, dark grey and black all through his colour scheme. Tries to give the essence that he actually has fire abilities. I did want to put some more orange throughout his body, but I don't have that many orange pieces, I'm afraid, and the orange pieces I do have are like 2x4 bricks, etc. So that was a bit of a letdown. If I had the pieces, definitely some of this light grey and dark grey would be exchanged for orange. He's got some nice details on him. He's got the two nice tail fins here, the cockpit down here with a nice shaped nose cone. The wings aren't exactly fully out, like straight, but I do kind of like that. It sort of does make it seem it's a bit more like a Cybertronian fighter jet. Oh, I just broke the thrusters off. He's got the main engine thruster here, the two other tail fin thrusters here, and he's got these, I guess you could say, fire streaks thrusters at the side here, binoculars at the side to give the essence that they give him boost of power and speed. You can actually pull these forward and pretend he has, you know, like flamethrower energy blasters. So that's pretty cool. Underneath you can see his head. Not really much else to see underneath, I'm being perfectly honest. The Decepticon symbol is this translucent dark blue cheese slope, so that's pretty cool. I do like how he's sort of widely proportioned. He's got a lot of shape to him, and sometimes it does make him a bit confusing to be like, whoa, there's so much going on in this section, but the longer you stare at it, I think the cooler it looks, to be perfectly honest. So, I'm not really sure what else to say. I'll give you a quick size comparison. Here he is next to a LEGO minifigure. Just to get an idea. Unfortunately, I don't have any other LEGO Transformers available to compare to in vehicle mode, and all my other Transformers are hidden across my room. But anyway, I think there's nothing really else to say about him. Don't really want to beat around the bush, so let's just get on to his transformation. Now, Pyrowing's transformation is very fiddly. There are a lot of weak joints and a lot of tough joints, which sort of irritate me slightly. But as long as we power through it and try and get it done, we'll be fine. So first things first, what we're going to do is these little assemblies here, we're just going to pull off and set to the side. And then we're also going to take this main thruster and pull this out. You could probably try and figure out what this is going to become later on. Set that off to the side. And here he is in his main vehicle mode. So, first things first, what we're going to do is we're going to come here to these side bits. We're going to pull this out. And then there's a 1x1 stud with a bar on it. And we're just going to wiggle this red clip that you can see that's attached to it along. So this can come out, up, and then we're going to pull this fin back, not completely, more like 60 degrees, just like that, and get it out of the way. We do the exact same on the other side. Pull it backwards slightly, wiggle it out on the bar, flip out the arm, bring it up, and rotate the wing backwards, like that. Oh, and apparently just put his entire arm off. Alright, just like that. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to try and focus on his legs. Let me just pull this upwards so you can see slightly better. Zoom out a bit more. Just like that. Now we're going to come to the bottom section where his legs are. We're going to pull this assembly down on this clip. And then this whole joint here is quite weak. There's nothing really connecting these red 1x1 tiles with the hoops connectors on them. except the jumper plate that they're connected to. So we're going to have to kind of squeeze them and bring these one by one studs with the bars on, bring them down. We can extend this back out and then slide this pole along that clip and flip around jumper plate to get something like that, and do that for the exact same side. Well, for the other side actually. So we pull that down, pull it out. Might as well rotate the jumper plate while we're at it. Pull it up, rotate it around, slide it along the bar, and position just like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the nose cone, flip it around just like that, leave that there for now. Now what we're going to do is this whole thruster assembly is going to come down on this clip, and then we're going to simultaneously rotate this entire assembly around while pulling this back up and putting it flush against his backpack. Then this whole nose cone assembly is going to come round and slide into his torso to fill in his body. And then this jumper plate is going to come around just like so and form his waist just like that. Now we're just going to bring his legs down just like so, proportion them, position them however we want, so he's able to stand up on his own. His legs are a bit too far forward actually. That'll probably do it. Now this clip is going to swing around. We're going to pull this bar up, slide the clip along, and then push it so that it sits more flush against his shoulder, so his shoulders come up and back slightly, just like that. And then we're going to take this headpiece, his eye and his horns, rotate it around, flip around the flame piece and apparently pull it off, but we're going to reattach this if I can. There we go. We're going to pull it up, but then we're also going to push it up on that clip so it sits upwards. It sort of gives him like a flaming mohawk, which I think is quite cool. So it's as if fire actually comes out off the top of his head. I imagine this guy is a pretty hot-headed Decepticon. And there he is in his robot mode. So he's very tall and very lanky, and that sort of reminds me a bit of Transformers Prime, Soundwave and Starscream. Very tall, lanky jet mode. But I quite like it. I do like the colour scheme, how he has lots of red throughout him. And then he's got the light grey and the dark grey with the very few black pieces. If I had more orange pieces, I definitely would fill this all in. But I do like how he has a very plain orange 1x1 tile for his eyes. That was originally red, but I didn't really like the fact that it was so, like, there was so much red on him already. I kind of wanted something to, like, not just his flaming mohawk, but I wanted something else, another feature to him that sort of symbolises his firepower, literally. So I gave him just a plain orange 1x1 tile for his eyes. So that's pretty cool. He's got the nice Decepticon symbol on his chest plate. Very tall, thin, lanky body and lanky arms. Articulation, his head can rotate side to side because it's just studs. His arms can go up and down at the shoulders. They can sort of do this in and out movement up here. He's got hinged elbows. His waist can rotate. It has a slight tilt, but obviously the more you tilt him, the entire nose cone of the jet will come sliding out of his body. His legs can go forward and back, swivel at the thigh. He's got hinged knee, I guess, a tilted knee, and he's got positioned. I guess you can consider these jumper plates as his feet, I guess. But yeah. Now he does obviously have his accessories. You could take this gun here, the main thruster of his jet mode, plug this into his arm to become his flamethrower. So of course Pyrowing has a flamethrower cannon. And then these two things, you can put these wherever you want. Realistically, you can put these back in his arms. You can you can put this back on his backpack and then attach these into his hands or onto his arms to become energy blasters. But I actually like to connect these like this into his hands, and these become his pyro blades. So he's got two flame swords and a giant flamethrower. Keeping up with the theme. So pew, pew, pew. Now of course the hinge joint here in his arm is quite not weak, but with the flamethrower on there, his arm won't stay up. It will just hinge down, unfortunately. But yeah. It's got some quite nice details on him. I do like how the wings sort of attach to his arms and not his backpack, which I do quite like. Now, uniquely, much like every other LEGO Transformer I've made, he does have his own unique ability. And what that is he's able to basically take up this huge amount of firepower. So we're just going to detach all of these accessories. And we'll just stand him up. Now I like to imagine that when he activates his power, all of these accessories just sort of reattach to his backpack. And so what you can do is you take this out, this flame piece out of this quarter pin here, and reattach it in this side. Now what we're going to do is we're going to plug this into this clip here, and then these fire hose nozzles on these pyro blades will attach into this brick. Actually, just for now, I'm just going to take this off, and I'm going to attach these in here. And then I'm just going to reattach this whole assembly to that clip. So then he has, again, like a giant backpack, you know, jetpack type thing that provides him with firepower so he can fly. And then that's not it, because I imagine he pulls his arms upwards like that and grabs these two giant thrusters off of his shoulders. And then what he does, and this is very cool, is these transform themselves. We're going to rotate these jumper plates like this, and then flip these roof tile pieces around, just like that. We're going to do one for each of them. And then what you can do is you take these, you can actually slot the clips on these into the clips of his hands, and these basically give him two humongous flamethrowers. Now of course they do make his arms very heavy, so unless you position him the right way, we're going to pull his wings out as well. You could pretend he's flying with this jetpack, this backpack here with his normal weapons that have turned into boosters, and he's just flying and burning everything in his path, just like that. And I think that's pretty cool. Very simple, very elegant. I think he's a very unique character. I wouldn't say he's definitely my best one, but he's very unique. I do like how he turns into a very sort of proportioned fighter jet, and then becomes this very tall, lanky, fire-powered Decepticon. I do like his power, like his ability. I just wanted someone to have some sort of actual fire ability, and I didn't think that would suit an Autobot. And I thought, well, what about a jet, and what about the Decepticon? So I created Pyrowing here. For a very quick size comparison, here he is next to Flash Drive. And of course, Flash Drive is very small, so you can see their comparison in size. And of course, here he is standing next to his boss, Atom Breaker. So let's take Flash Drive away. So he's quite, you know, I think there's a very sort of this Megatron Starscream similarity essence here. But yeah, I think they're pretty cool. And then just once again, here he is compared to a minifigure, which is of course not to scale. I do like how they sort of mirror each other slightly, even though they're two very different vehicle modes. Usually these thrusters end up on his backpack becoming like shoulder pads or shoulder fins or whatever. Much like Atom Breaker has these treads. They have very like wing-shaped shoulders with thin, lanky arms. Their Decepticon symbol is at the same point of their chest assembly, and they have very thin, lanky, long legs. So, but yeah, I quite like them. So, anyway, that's Pyrowing. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more, please leave a like. Let me know what type of vehicles or powers or unique abilities you want me to make for any other LEGO Transformers. Subscribe to see more, and I guess I'll see you next time. So peace out.